Welcome back to Catalyst University. My name is Kevin Tokoph. Please make sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel for future videos and notifications. In this video, we're going to discuss two major things. One, we're going to look at the bony features of each half of the pelvis, individually termed os coxa, and then we're going to look at determining if your os coxa that you have is a left os coxa or a right os coxa. We know that the pelvis as a whole is going to be two os coxa combined, and when they are combined together, plurally, we say os coxae. Okay, that's the plural of it. And we'll look at them combined in a few minutes, but really we want to be able to learn the pieces of each half of the pelvis independently, because most likely on an exam you'll just be given one half of this. And it can be kind of challenging to figure out where everything is, so I'm going to break that down in this video. And then we'll look at determining left from right at the end. Okay? And we'll look at the site of fusion in just a little bit. But let's go over the major features. There are three major regions of each os coxa. Okay? The largest one, which is actually the most superior, this is the ilium. So this part that's all really just the normal color of bone, this is the ilium. Over here in purple we have the ischium, and then over here in red we have the pubis. Generally speaking, the medial part of this is the pubis, and the lateral part is the ischium, and then the most superior part is the ilium. Let's break down each part of it, first starting with the ilium. So this crest that goes over the surface of the ilium right here, this crest is called the iliac crest, all right? And this part of it that sticks out right here, only on this side, is called the anterior superior iliac spine. What's notable about this position right here is if you're ever walking and not paying close attention and you bump your hip on, let's say, the countertop, if it's at the right height, the part that you're probably hitting when you hit the bone is the anterior superior iliac spine. My fiance does that all the time. She'd probably get mad if she knew I put that in this video. But if you also palpate your hip bone and you actually put your finger on that, what you're most likely touching is this part, the anterior superior iliac spine. Okay. Now, on the opposite side of the ilium as the spine, we have what's called the greater sciatic notch. As we'll see, this is a really important landmark to be able to recognize because it's going to be part of what helps us distinguish left from right. We'll see that in a few minutes. So this is the greater sciatic notch, a very large indentation right here. In fact, it's the largest. You should also notice that the greater sciatic notch is, of course, on the opposite side of the anterior superior iliac spine. So you might be tempting to say this is actually the anterior superior iliac spine, but this is actually the posterior inferior iliac spine, which is not needed to, you don't need to know that in the course that I teach. Okay? But note that this structure is on the opposite side of the greater sciatic notch. Okay? And that pretty much takes us through everything that's very important in the ilium. Now we're going to descend down to the ischium. Okay? The ischium is on the same side as the greater sciatic notch. So we're already starting to see that the greater sciatic notch is really important to be able to identify. So the ischium is on the same side as that here in purple. So the first part of the ischium that we'll talk about is the ischial spine. This part is actually closest to the greater sciatic notch, as we'll see. So this spine is literally a bump that actually sticks out right on the ischium. Okay, so this is our ischial spine. Students often confuse this with the ischial tuberosity. So right here is the ischial tuberosity. If you actually look at it, you'll see it's not really a large bump that sticks out. More, it's an engorgement of the ischium where it's actually thicker. And then also on the surface here, you see a little bit of unevenness right now. That's the ischial tuberosity. The ischial spine is closer to the greater sciatic notch. The ischial tuberosity is further from that. Okay? And if you look at this hole right here, this is actually called the obturator foramen. It turns out there's actually a muscle called the obturator muscle that's actually going to penetrate through this hole. But this is the obturator foramen, and it's the only hole that we have in the entire half of the pelvis. Okay? So keep that in mind. Then that takes us here to the pubis region. The pubis region is the most medial part of each os coxa. Pubis is also on the opposite side of the greater sciatic notch, whereas the ischium was on the same side. And really with the pubis, the only major things that we want to look at are the pubic symphysis, which we can't see here. We'll look at that on a put-together pelvis where both halves are fused. And then also the acetabolum, which really spans all three sections of it, but I saved it till last. This acetabolum is a very large, rounded out basin, okay? And if we look at the head of the femur, which we talked about in a previous video, the head of the femur, this ball-looking thing, is actually going to sit right here in the acetabolum, and that's actually what forms the hip joint, okay? So the acetabolum is not really part of the pubis, but it does lie in the pubis, but it also takes into account two other regions, okay? And those are the major things, at least on each half of the os coxae, that you do need to be able to recognize. All right. Now, before we go any further, I actually want to look at both of the pelvis bones, both of the os coxa, fused together and look at how it actually fits. So first of all, notice that the sacrum, which is actually 5 fused vertebrae, actually sits between two regions of the iliums. Okay? It actually sits just next to the posterior superior iliac spine of each of these, and then this right here would actually be the posterior inferior iliac spine. So it actually sits right in between there on each ilium. All right? Then on the pubis region, so this is the pubis right here, notice that the pubi, we would call them, are actually fused by this area of fibrocartilage right here. This is called the pubic symphysis. So this fibrocartilage is a linkage that joins the two halves of the pelvis, the two os coxa, to form the os coxae, right? Also, when we look at the individual pubis and then also the ischium, we could sort of think of it like that. Right here, if we look at this angle, this forms what's called the pubic angle or subpubic angle. And this angle actually differs between male pelvis and a female pelvis. For the female pelvis, it'll actually be a larger angle, and for males, it's actually going to be smaller, okay? And that's the main thing I wanted to cover with this, the pubic symphysis, all right? So let's go back here. So this os coxa that I've shown you, this one, is a right os coxa. It's the right hip bone. But how do I know it's the right hip bone? Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you through a little flow chart. And this is something that is not terribly difficult, but it can help you immensely determine left and right. All right, so we want to be able to locate several critical parts to do this. We want to be able to locate the greater sciatic notch. That's right here, okay? We want to be able to locate the pubis. That's the side of the pelvis that's opposite the greater sciatic notch, so over here. And then the acetabolum, which is this very large rounded out region where the head of the femur sits in there to form the hip joint. And so what you're going to do is one of two cases. Either you're going to have the pubis oriented toward the left, or you're going to have the pubis oriented toward the right. And either way, you're going to ask yourself these questions. So let's say the pubis was oriented to the left. Can you see the acetabolum? Okay. In other words, do you see an acetabolum like this? Okay. If you can see the acetabolum in this case, then you have a left os coxae. If no, you have a right os coxae. So what does this mean? It means that if you can see the acetabolum, whatever direction the pubis is oriented, that's what side of the body the os coxae is. Okay? So if you can see the acetabolum and the pubis is oriented to the left, you have a left os coxa. Okay? Likewise, the opposite's also true. If the pubis is oriented to the right and you can see the acetabolum, then you have a right os coxa. So the general point is this. If you can see the acetabolum, then the direction you are pointing the pubis is the same side that the particular os coxa belongs on. Okay? Let's do a couple of examples just to get us oriented with this. This is the same picture I had before. Right? Now, when you're looking at this, if you can't touch the models on a quiz or an exam, you might have to rotate your head a little bit to see this. I'll rotate it on here for you to see it. But this right here is the greater sciatic notch. Okay, so the pubis has to be over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to orient this pubis to the right, since it makes more sense to do that. Okay, so let's actually orient this to the right. All right, so it's oriented to the right. Okay, so pubis oriented to the right. Can I see the acetabolum? Yes, it's right here. So because the pubis is oriented to the right, I have a right os coxa. okay? Because the pubis is oriented to the right, I have a right os coxa. And that's because I can see the acetabulum. If I oriented the pubis to the right, but the acetabulum was on the back side, meaning it wasn't visible, then it would be the opposite. I would have had a left os coxa. But because I orient the pubis toward the right and I can see the acetabulum, then I also have a right os coxa. Okay? So let's look at another example. This is an example. I have my greater sciatic notch right here. My pubis is going to be the side opposite that. So let's actually do this example. Is this a left or a right os coxa? Well, in this case, it might make more sense to orient this pubis toward the left. Okay, so I'm going to orient it to the left, like that. And can I see the acetabulum? No, I cannot see it. It's on the other side. So because I cannot see it, it's the opposite. I'm orienting the pubis towards the left, so it's a right os coxa. Okay? And the reason it's opposite is because I can't see the acetabulum. Again, what we're saying is that if you can see the acetabulum, then the direction you are pointing the pubis is the same side that the particular os coxae belongs on, right and right or left and left. If you can't see the acetabulum, then it's the opposite. Okay? That's why it was the opposite here, because I can't see the acetabulum, so since I'm orienting the pubis to the left, this is a right os coxa. Okay? It's actually the same as this one, it's just flipped upside down. All right, so hopefully that makes sense. And hopefully in this video you were able to pick up a lot of the important pieces of each os coxa and then differentiate the left os coxa from the right. Please make sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel for future videos and notifications. Thank you very much.